Hello, everybody. Welcome to Occupy Pro Wrestling Live. Here on a special post Double or Nothing edition. We are here to
On a Monday morning.
easily like a Monday morning in this case. Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you on the East Coast, it is in fact Monday morning. Welcome to Monday, pal. But yeah, we're here to talk about AEW
Memorial Day.
Double or Nothing, the return to a full crowd pay-per-view here. Rather appropriately, a year after like the first AEW pay-per-view of the pandemic era, for all intents and purposes. So, yeah, we are here to talk about this. I am your host, as always, Alex Smiley. You can find me at Alex Smiley Plays on the Twitch. I'm joined, as always, by my pals and comrades. First and foremost, Chris, aka T-Bone, is live on the Twitch. Chris, how are you doing?
It's Monday. That's how I'm doing.
I am in.
It's a good thing I had the day off.
Yes. Thank goodness for the holiday weekend.
I got to remember now that after all AEW pay-per-view, just take Monday off. Good thing today's a holiday, so I was already off.
They do try to do them on the holiday weekends.
Oh yeah, the next one's before Labor Day, so I'll have that day off too.
And yes, Brock, Wilfare Heels. Yes, I am in the old event center over in Titan Towers. But yes, I'm also joined at this time by James, aka JJ Titan Dog 70, on the Twitch. James, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. You know, good thing I also I'm taking Monday off, so I anticipated this long predictable thing. But yes, I predicted it, and I'm good. So hey, I'm happy.
I mean, it's only 4 times a year at the moment, so it's not too bad. But then when you add in WWE, it's just whatever. Yeah. It's fine.
Well, at least with WWE, we'll take. At least they finish up an hour earlier.
That's because they don't have enough stuff going on to fill.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. At least they start at 7 instead of 8 o'clock, so we can be done at 11. You know, or 10, depending on which type of pay-per-view they have. So you have to give them props on that.
So let me run down the quick results, and then we'll get to the things that we were going to do. So in the buy-in, the pre-show, Serena Deeb was defending the NWA Women's Championship against Riho, and she successfully retained with the Serenity Lock. So that's cool. We opened the show proper with a singles match between the Machine Brian Cage and Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page did take the victory after Team Taz had distracted Brian Cage. So that was a thing. Next match after that was the tag team titles, correct? Just want to sanity check.
Yes.
Tag team title match. The Young Bucks defending their titles against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. And the Young Bucks did retain. Probably with some shenanigans, but they did retain. So, that's where we're at. After that was the Casino Battle Royale. 21 men. Sorted up into 4 suits and the Joker. We did see a bunch of, mostly tag teams and stable people enter the match, and then Christian Cage as well. But the Joker was free agent Lio Rush, formerly of WWE, very high impact guy on the indies. He was the Joker, the surprise entrant for the match this year. He did not win, however. The winner of the match, last eliminating Christian Cage, was Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is your new #1 contender for the AEW World title. After that, we moved on to someone help me out here. It was Cody and Anthony Ogogo, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo. Arn Anderson Cody's side, and then QT Marshall Ogogo's side. Unfortunately, Cody Rhodes did secure the victory with the Crossroads after it was a pretty good match, but Cody Rhodes did win the match. After that, we moved on to the
TNT
women's title, right? TNT Championship.
Yep.
You're right. Thank you for
the best man.
TNT Championship, the best man Miro defending against the Murderhawk Monster, rather. Wow, it's late.
The Murderhawk Monster.
The Murderhawk Monster. Thank you, Lance Archer. And Miro did successfully retain after throwing Jake's the Snake across the arena, so that was cool. After that was the Women's Championship match. The longest reigning champion in AEW history, Hikaru Shida, defended her newly designed AEW Women's title belt against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Put some respect on that name.
Match of the night from me, just to go there. And your winner of the match was, of course, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, your new AEW Women's Champion. From there, we went to the grudge match between Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus Darby Allin and Sting. Good match. Stuff happened. But in the end, Sting with the Scorpion Step Drop on Scorpio Sky picked up the pinfall victory for Sting and Darby Allin. After that, we moved into the semi-main event, which was the AEW World Championship match. The man, the myth, the legend, Kenny Omega, the belt collector, defending the AEW World Championship against the Bastard Pack and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Unfortunately, my heart was broken because Don Callis screwed Orange Cassidy. And Kenny Omega did pin Orange Cassidy to retain the title because of Don Callis. Right. After that, the main event was the Stadium Stampede match, the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Sort of cinematic, but also live. Some nice, smart jump cuts with the cameras. We weren't sure that anyone wanted to win the match, but eventually, Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, did pin Shawn Spears in the middle of the ring to win the match for the Inner Circle. They were a long match, almost an hour, I think.
Yeah, it was basically the entire fourth hour
was with the 12 o'clock. It was an hour.
Entire fourth hour was this match. I'm okay with that because it was a good match, or good fight. I don't know what you really call it a match.
It's a fight.
Overall, it's a fight. Good fight. Inner Circle wins. They don't have to break up, so life goes on. And here we are reacting to AEW Double or Nothing. I had a pretty good time. As dead tired as I am, and you can probably hear it in my voice, I had a good time with the pay-per-view. I thought the crowd brought a lot of energy. The one thing I remarked to the both of you early on was during the buy-in, watching Serena Deeb versus Riho, and the crowd was just super into it because we got live wrestling, more or less a full crowd, as full as you can get it in Daly Stadium.
In Daly's place,
which is not very big, but still, it's full crowd.
They were
into every single match.
It was a hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd. They were into every single match, which helped the show out. But I remarked to you, they're both like, wow, they're really into Serena Deeb versus Rio, which is something you don't normally see on the pre-show. Usually the pre-show people are still filtering in. It's not really as hot. But the crowd was already there and waiting, and it was a hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd. Well, here's it. One, Rio's over. She has been over since she first won. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
I know that. Serena Deeb's is damn good. She's over too. So the crowd was hot for her. That was a smart pre-show to get the crowd going. So that was a smart move putting those two up there. Those two can work. Say what you want about Rio. She's like 90 pounds, but she can work. And Serena Deeb is one of the better workers, female workers out in the business right now. Mm-hmm. And so those two starting out was a good move for the pre-show and everything. That was a smart play. So yeah, that was a good.
So here's what I wanted to pose to you, because it is late for all of us, for probably a lot of our people watching too. So I don't want to go through every match blow by blow. Instead, I just want to pick out our highlights of the match. Did my camera freeze? Yes, it did. All right. Then move me off the screen, and I'll see if I can fix that.
Well, because we're handling that, I'll say
you go ahead. Yeah, you go
ahead. I didn't watch the pre-show, much of the pre-show. I caught the with the first match. Like I said, as the crowd was doing the thing, Cage, Hangman Page, that's fine. That was a good match. Cage can do his thing, Page can do his thing. Crowd was crowd's behind Page. Some great stuff right there. Interesting. No Inner Circle. Dark Order. Did have Team Taz, so they're doing the breaking up from Team Taz.
Right.
At the end, where it didn't. Here's the thing: it didn't make sense though. Why would Ricky Starks, and Hook come out and try to interfere when he actually looked like he was going to beat him anyways? It didn't like he needed help. He looked strong in the match, so that didn't. That came out didn't look right. But Cage, pretty much refused. Because he refused, he got buckshot lariat, everything like that. So that's good there. That tag team title match. It was like half tag team match, half street fight. I mean, they spend half the time in the ring fighting double teams and stuff. Refs just like, okay. No, like that. I mean, and you're right. Welfare is right. The AEW crowds are different. That's a different type of crowd, man. I mean, good Lord. I was watching that. I was like, that's an indie crowd because you can see the mask. Got people wearing masks and stuff. Like, what? Okay, I would see that at indie show. But no, it was okay. I knew a lot of it was a typical Bucks match though. There's a lot of finishes and everything there. What do you think, Alex? How do you think it started out? Pretty well?
Yeah, like my overall thoughts on the show, I thought it was great. That particular match, I think the interesting thing about that particular match was that it didn't suffer too much from the overbooking, which is honestly a little bit of a surprise.
Oh yeah, but it was just here's the problem
I think I'm back.
with the refs. The problem I have was the refs seem to have no power in AEW.
At least it's consistent though. Like remember,
you can say this. At least it's across the board.
Across the board, the refs are useless, which is fine.
They're useless because
I'm working on it. Okay, we're good.
It was a tag team match. It started out the typical brawl, and then it went to a tag team match. And then halfway through the match, it started turning into another double team. It's just like everybody was double team fighting outside. Brandon Cutlass gets wiped out. I do like their finisher. It's kind of like a variation of total elimination. They're using clothesline instead.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. But it
are you talking about the Call of the Century? The Dior's Day device?
Dior's Day.
Oh yeah, the Dior's Day. Yeah, that was funny to say.
Call of the Century. Yeah, give Excalibur all of the rewards. Absolutely.
So yeah, it was a typical Bucks match. It was a lot of boom, boom, boom. Moxley had to bleed. It seems to be in his contract. He's got to bleed at least every pay-per-view. He's got to bleed at least once in every pay-per-view. So yeah,
he just likes it, man. He just I want to bleed. He
just want to bleed. That's in his contract, I think. So he's got to bleed at least every pay-per-view. But in the end, the Bucks won like what he thought they were going to do. So
it's fine.
And then we had I forgot what was the next one. Was the Go-Go match?
No, the Casino Battle Royals after that.
Oh, Casino.
But now you're flying through it again.
No, the Casino Battle Royal. It was a Battle Royal. Wait, this is weird though. So the tag teams came in with the picks.
So they don't explain it very well, which I think is a weakness. And I think it would be a lot more fun if they did. But what they do is they take the field of 20 and they divide them in groups of 5 and give them basically backstage. Supposedly they draw cards, which I wish they would show some of that to kind of like sell the theme. But that's why they come out in groups of 5. Mm-hmm. It was otherwise it was like random draw. That's why some teams came out together and some didn't, just because of where they were positioned.
Well, they were in the suits, but it just seemed very convenient that some of the tag teams were in the same suits and everything.
But it's 20.
That just threw me off a little. But
you can only split them 4 ways.
I think
it wasn't that bad. It was just I just felt it was a little convenient for that. But it wasn't a bad Battle Royal. I like Battle Royals. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't worse as like the one the year before and everything like that, where they had really had nobody they knew it was there. Here we at least had most of the people in there were people that have been on television, and if you watch the show, you would know who they are.
Yeah.
Like that. And so that there was nothing wrong with that. Interesting, they ran Christian Cage at the start though. That was Hobbs and Cage at the start like that. They did the thing like that. So
but then Cage was out for half the match anyway.
Yeah, they did the Randy Orton.
They both skipped the middle part of the match.
They suddenly vanished. Him and Hobbs suddenly vanished. So everybody didn't get their stuff in, and then they suddenly appear when everybody gets eliminated.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, which
that's fine. Like, what? I've said it before. My biggest pet peeve is when they do the fake doctor angle.
Yeah.
I hate that. So just them recovering at ringside is fine. Like, people can recover at ringside. It's no big deal. But I really liked the match. I really liked they gave Jungle Boy the win. I predicted this on Thursday that I figured that they want Jungle Boy with the crowd. Like, the crowd was singing this theme song.
Oh, the crowd was hot.
From the moment he came out to the end of the match, they actually started booing Christian when it was just those two left.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
that was a trip.
I was really afraid, like, oh my God, you're gonna let Christian win, and this crowd's gonna turn on the show.
No, I think if I was Christian, I would have called the audible right there.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he did. Maybe he's like, you know what, Jungle Boy needs to win this, and he just like let him win.
Right.
I doubt that happened.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sure Jungle Boy was the plan to beginning, but you know.
I feel like
he wasn't.
If I had been Christian, I heard this crowd and the way they were going, I would have been like, you know what? Tell him, hey, take me.
Especially knowing you're going to deny the crowd later in the night because Orange Cassidy wasn't going to win. You have to have Jungle Boy win. You can't have them both lose in the same pay-per-view.
It was a good. Actually, I have to admit, it was a good call. The crowd's there. Jungle Boy's over.
Yeah,
good call.
Absolutely.
Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy are 1A and B as top faces in the company.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I really did like Christian kind of giving him the rub a little bit. You know, hey, you did a good job, man. You're gonna be that champion in the future. I'm here for you. You know, slapped him and give him a hug. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good moment. I like that so much.
I had no problem with that.
Right, when Kenny and Don screwed Jungle, it's going to be nuclear heat. It was already nuclear heat. Oh my gosh, that crap. We'll get to that moment because I loved it. I hated it, but I loved it.
Yeah, you are correct. Heels is correct on that. It's going to be nuclear heat, man. When that
Absolutely.
thing happens, man. Yeah, that's so. I think it was a good call.
Don Callis, man.
Now,
actually,
here's the problem I had. The only problem I really had was you got Lio Rush, who, quite frankly, does fit well in AEW. I don't have a problem with Lio Rush. He can work and everything like that. I don't have a problem with that. But you should have given him a better showing as the Joker. I didn't like how he was eliminated. I know it is what it is, but
yeah.
Honestly, better than signing a big name and also wasting them.
Yeah,
so, who cares about Lio Rush? I don't care about Lio Rush.
I like Lio Rush. I've seen Lio Rush can work. He can work. He's really good.
Yeah,
he's a lot of fun to watch.
But I think he could have get a better splash.
Honestly,
I don't care about Lio Rush.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm inclined to agree with James. But on the flip side of that, I do want to give, I want to give praise where it's due. Like Lio did have a good showing for what he gave us, but also, I will say that it was very interesting. It was very interesting seeing Lio Rush, because the last time I seen him, last time I saw him like on TV was when he was in WWE prior to his release there. But also, like the last I knew, he was like working. He was working MLW and like AAA and like maybe some other stuff as well. So I do want to give an it's interesting to see where we go with Lio Rush from here. Like if this is one of those things where he signs with the AEW or not, because this could be one of those deals where we might see a little bit again. And I realize that I might be looking into it too much, because heaven knows I have a tendency to do that. But maybe we see something more with like either AAA or even MLW off the back of this. Probably not, but just the fact that someone that has been on MLW very recently showing up at AEW was interesting to me.
But I agree with Welfare. You're right. They probably could have, if they're going to do Joker, maybe randomly with the Joker card or something like that. Maybe Leo versus Sammy would be a pay-per-view match right there. I would pay money to watch.
Yeah, and I mentioned
those two.
Yeah, the other thing I mentioned, another thing I mentioned earlier, Chris can attest to this. I even said we were kind of at the point where the biggest surprise for the Joker, for the mystery entrant, would have been someone on the active roster, just because they seem to always do the mystery entrant being someone like new and someone outside the company. Like that would have been the biggest surprise.
Last year was Matt Sydal.
Yeah, last year was Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
So,
the year before was Brian Cage, right?
It was one of them. It's either last year was Brian Cage and Matt Sydal.
I'm pretty sure Brian Cage won the first
Brian Cage won, the reason why it's confusing is because
he won the one that wasn't a pay-per-view.
He won the ladder match. That was a casino battle, or it was a casino Royale ladder. That's the thing. Like this is something else we were talking about. Like they had a match with that branding, but it wasn't a battle royal. It was just a ladder match. Brian Cage won that as a mystery entrant.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that.
Oh, Hangman Page won the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hangman Page won.
That was his getting the number one contender shot. That's right.
Yeah. So we went from there, and what was the next match after that? That was the next match was the Go-Go match, wasn't it? The Go-Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
whatever. I don't want to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah. No, it was a decent match for what it was.
No, it was a good match. It was just poorly booked.
It was poorly booked. This is a poorly booked match.
Like the only negative thing I really want to say about it is that the finish itself to me was just deflating, which was weird. I'm not even the kind of guy that has that kind of issue, but that's just.
Oh no, he went again.
All right. Well,
you moved your head for a second, Chris. I think you may have bumped you.
All right. One second. Let me. Give me one. Oh,
Oh,
we're back. Good.
All right.
Good.
I
Okay.
don't know. Camera's just not cooperating.
No.
Okay. All good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
it was. Here's the issue with this match is, as I said, there's nothing wrong with the match itself. It's just it was booked poorly, and Cody came off worse than he was trying to.
Right. So I want to move on because we're gonna say we're gonna focus on the
positive. So we'll move away from
fine.
that. Away from that. The next one after that was
like I only want to talk about stuff we liked. I didn't like that match. I didn't like the TNT match either, just because it was kind of part of it was being deflated from the previous match, but also it was just.
I think so too. To be honest.
No, I mean it was fine.
It was fine, but I don't.
They did not need Jake. They did not need Jake to come down.
No, not necessarily. No,
fine without him coming down.
So I'm ready to talk about. I'm ready to talk about.
So we'll move from that. The Britt Baker versus Shida match was next.
Yeah.
After that.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was like I said, new belt, good match. Like you said, probably been match of the
new belt is like 5% bigger than the old belt, which I find hilarious. I know that's why they did it, because the women's belt looked like a toy belt the entire time. They're like, let's just make it a little bit bigger, but it still looks like a toy belt.
Well, you're right, Heels. How can I think it should.
I think they should have made
it. I said it before. Heels, he's like he throws punch like uppercut like right. How can his finisher shouldn't be that dead point?
Anyways,
it should be faces all to face.
Like I said, we're not focusing on anything we hated. We're on things we like. So
now, what's this?
No more of that.
We made a promise. Dang it, we're gonna stick to it.
Is Rebel doing the Bob Orton Jr. gimmick where she's constantly hurt now and never heals?
Well, so she can have that gimmick so she can hit people with it. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's doing the Bob Orton.
Yeah, it is basically the Bob Orton.
Okay, I don't know about the Bob Orton.
Bob Orton always had the cast. Like he was perennially had a cast on his.
For like a year, it was like think D'Lo Brown with the chest protector. We always had the chest protector.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that might be a better comparison. Yeah, D'Lo with the chest protector.
Brown, D'Lo had the chest protector because he had hurt his chest and it never healed, so he always wearing a chest protector in the match. So Rebel's doing a version of that where she's always got the crutch. So she's gonna be like, I always have the crutch because it never heals.
It's the heel thing to do. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. I liked it. I have no problem.
And yes, to Brock's point, Britt Baker, or excuse me, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, puts some respect on the name.
Put some respect on that name.
Is from Pittsburgh, and I actually met her once, so I'm happy for her.
I won't hold that against her.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, nobody's perfect, huh? Nobody's perfect.
Okay.
So, no, it's a good match. I thought it was a really good match.
She's in Florida.
Here's the thing, though. Sheeta was working heel more than her.
It was about 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
Especially the crowd. Like I'm happy that Sheeta got her, her cheers and her support because she kind of was the unsung hero of the women's division, carrying the entire time in front of no clouds. So she got it. It sucks that she had to lose right here, but she has no matches left, so she had to lose.
Yeah.
But at the meantime, it refreshes the women's division. Now we have Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, has all these fresh matchups with the entire division, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's a good way.
She built this winning streak of like 8 wins, but they're all in like jobbers and stuff. So she hasn't beat anyone legitimately yet. So now she has all these fresh matches. So of course, a rematch with Sheeta, probably Rio, definitely Thunder Rosa, probably Serena Deeb, Ty Conte, sorry, is lurking around.
Maybe when I don't know if Anna Jay's healed up yet.
Anna Jay's probably gonna be out for a long time.
Yeah.
What you do is you keep it going. Then she can always drop it to Sheeta back before you get Jade ready.
Yeah. So it opens up possibilities for the women's division, which I think is going to help with people like this women's division sucks. No, this women's division is pretty great now.
No, this women's division is not bad. The booking of the women's division has sucked.
Yeah, I think it's starting to get better, but yeah, it's definitely
getting better. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, was a very big focal point of the show the last couple months, which I think was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And she'll continue to be a big focal point of the shows, which will mean that the women will be on more. And they do get a lot of time on like Dark and Elevation, so it's not. I know those are the YouTube shows and they're not the real shows, but they still do get a lot of time. Hopefully they'll start elevating. I really want to see Layla Hirsch elevated as like a top star.
Yeah, Layla Hirsch, I'm telling you.
I want to see none of Abaddon. I want to see lots of Layla Hirsch.
I would have turned Layla. I'd turn Layla into the female Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
I have to start snapping ankles, baby. I want her to come out in the Kurt Angle singlet and hear the music. She's like,
well,
I want her to do that.
I don't think that works for women, unfortunately.
It would. Oh, you do it. You do it right. No, I'm joking. Then we had the announcement. We did have the announcement. Mark Henry has signed.
Well, that was late in the show, but yeah, he's gonna.
Yeah, well, I'm just want to get it out the way now. I just want to say Mark Henry signed. Mark Henry gonna get that money. I know he probably wanted to wrestle again, and Vince probably said no. So he called again. He did a big show. He called up.
Yeah, probably.
Tony Khan. Can I come over? Khan's
I
like,
know you keep saying that, but
wrestle. Cool.
The Khans are not literally throwing around WCW money. Like they're
throwing around good money though. It's got to be good money.
I do want to say to the Mark Henry announcement that
Mark Henry is a host on Busted Open Radio, and they don't pay that much either. So it's like
I do.
Well, he was an agent though backstage in the E.
I do want to point out, like, similar to Paul White's situation, the emphasis here is on him being commentary / being an analyst for, like, and the main thing that they mentioned on the show tonight was, like, his main role is going to be involved with the Rampage show that'll be happening on Fridays, I believe, on TNT.
Yeah, that's
that's actually on TNT next year.
Yeah, TNT.
Because they're moving.
It's on TNT right now. It'll be on TBS next year.
No, the Rampage show's still gonna be on TNT. It's gonna be 10 o'clock Friday.
They're doing a weird shuffling of things next year.
Yeah, they're shuffling. Yeah. So the TBS, that Dynamite goes to TBS. Mm-hmm. They have 1 hour Rampage show Friday at like 10 or something after SmackDown, something like that.
Hey, that's cool. Like, more TV time for them.
Yeah,
exactly. So it'll be fun.
And if it's anything like Dark
so after the women's match, we had that was the Darby and Sting match, right?
Yeah, and
I would have missed it.
He did. That's I was gonna say, like, I had a couple things to say about that. I was like, so we talked a little bit about the fact that, like, we weren't sure, like, if this was gonna be a situation where Darby was gonna take, like, all the bumps or whatever, or like most of them, and he took a lot of bumps. But we were like, but I think the big question mark was on Sting, and, like, within minutes of that match starting, we saw Sting take a back bump on the freaking
he has Wolverine
ramp, and I was like, hold on a second, like Wolverine. Wait a minute, hold up, what are we? Okay, Sting. Good, welcome back.
Yeah, he didn't take very many overall.
Yeah, he didn't take many, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that was the first thing he did, basically, aside from the brawling. Yeah, I'm like, dang, okay. But yeah, no, it was a good match. It was a really good match.
I was like, I was saying,
especially given the circumstances.
Sting happened to be driving in the desert that day because he would have been lost. It took him days to get back. He's in the desert.
I know they keep doing those intros. I'm like,
first of all,
I like that.
Sting had to be driving
funny.
There.
It is. I liked it. I did like the idea of. You know what? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. That video from tonight, where Sting basically picks up Darby from the desert to go to the show. You know what that reminded me of, to a very small degree? It reminded me of those WCW mini movies that they made for Beach Blast and freaking White Castle of Fear, and there was like one other one.
I will admit that Tony Khan is a WCW mark.
Yeah, it's evident from time to time, and it's not always a bad thing.
I got one question though. They drive all the way from West Texas.
That's what I said. Did they drive there? I was thinking
maybe there's no desert in Florida.
There's no desert in Florida.
That we know of.
Texas all the way to
Florida. We know of, right?
And I was thinking, I've been looking at Darby like, sit down, man. This Darby's don't get.
It's like, what's the opposite of an oasis? That's probably what they have in Florida. The one patch of desert.
The one.
Yeah, the one patch. No, it might have been in Alabama. No, they were in Alabama. I think they were in Alabama. They drove from Alabama.
No desert in Alabama either.
We know of
West Texas.
I don't know.
Outside El Paso.
No, you're probably right. They went on a road trip. You love to see it.
Yeah, it was only like probably about 16-hour drive from El Paso to Florida.
Yeah, from El Paso.
That's why that's the reason they bonded so well together. That freaking Darby came in
Sting drive the entire time.
Majority of it's Texas.
Or they shuffle it off,
Exactly, and they were strategizing the entire road trip.
There you go.
And that's why Darby came out basically.
That's why they
I will admit it was a
similar
sick bump though. Ethan Page tossed him into crowd surfing.
Oh
So
yeah.
I haven't seen
Oh gosh,
I haven't seen that
See,
since.
that was a joke I made earlier. It's like that's now we know the real reason the crowd is here, so that way Darby Allin can be thrown into something.
Well, he threw him into his brothers. They say he threw him into his family. So
yeah. It's like
here,
take
his
him back.
Family and local wrestlers
here
to catch him.
Take
him back. Go home.
Take him back.
It helps that Darby Allin doesn't weigh anything.
Yes.
So like he lands in the crowd. The crowd's
impressive. I was like, he's like 160 pounds soaking
wet. The crowd
wet.
doesn't even sell it. They just like catch him like, oh, we're
and
supposed
then they put him down.
They just put him down.
There was one dude that looked shocked as heck that spot happened too. He's just like, what the heck? And then he just looked at Darby. I remember looking at that guy's face like, yeah, he's like, that poor guy.
He's like, okay, just don't worry about it. He'll be there.
All right.
Okay, here he comes.
Oh gosh, but yeah, no, the match was great. Honestly, the match was really good.
Could have just crowd surfed him around like that.
All right.
Oh, but other than that, Sting looked good for a 60-year-old man.
Yeah,
doing some
honestly,
dives.
yeah.
Anything like that. I'm just hoping he didn't get hurt. I was like, please don't get hurt. Please don't blow his shoulder. Please don't blow.
No, he did buy Code Red.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you.
Red.
This was he did a Code Red. I know. I was like, oh my gosh.
He botched it, but he did it.
He basically did it. He basically did it.
No, yeah. I mean, he did it. Like, I'm not gonna complain that it got botched. Like,
yeah, no, it's fine.
Botches happen.
It's his first Code Red. Come on, he hasn't wrestled in what 6 years?
Right.
Other than the cinematic match.
Right. Exactly.
I don't mind botches as long as like commentaries and try to cover it up as a botch. Like, oh, look at this devastating move, and they're like, you know, when you see two guys like just like slip off the top rope, and then someone goes devastating move. Like,
well, yeah.
No, so off the top rope. It happens.
So yeah. Oh, like I think that's the main takeaway from this match is, you know, I suddenly feel at least a little bit better about Sting actually wrestling, because heaven knows when Sting first showed up, I was like, no, to put him in.
Well, here's the thing: if he's gonna do that, it has to be like space it out like Taker.
Yeah.
Don't wrestle again for another 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's just there to put Darby over, which is fine.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's the whole purpose. And I think they definitely did a good job of that.
But like I said, if he's gonna wrestle again, make it like another 6 months. Make it another special. Make it something really devastating, something like that.
Honestly,
because
I think we're leading to Darby versus Sting.
I think they're going that way.
So the Sting can have his retirement match.
The way I would sell it is Sting probably gives Darby the last. This is your last test. You have to beat me.
Something like that.
I could do that.
Let's go on to
I can't see Sting going
the main event, which was the AEW World Title. I know it's not the main event, but it was the main event.
The penultimate main event.
The main event in my heart. And you know, fuck you, Don Callis.
There it is.
Second of all,
there it is.
Don Callis again.
I knew it the minute Callis did that. I was like, Chris is lost his damn.
I lost my mind. Orange Cassidy won the match twice. Fuck you, Don Callis.
So
no, I mean, you have to get like be willing to get into wrestling as a fan, and you know, I genuinely.
It was the best time to do it. The crowd lost their shit.
The crowd lost their shit, which was great.
Bullshit, fuck you. The whole crowd.
They chanted "fuck you, Don."
Oh yeah,
like, it was deafening. You, Don. Chants.
Yeah, and I think it's great because now Don and Don Callis.
Don Callis is a war criminal. Okay,
he's
a war criminal.
Listen.
Callis.
Don
Callis has saved AEW.
No, he's a
Orange Cassidy has earned AEW by a collapse.
I just want to clarify something before we continue. The Don in Don Callis stands for Double or Nothing. There you go. You're welcome.
Stands for war criminal.
But it was a good match.
Crimes committed in that wrestling ring tonight.
Oh, that was
crimes against humanity.
I will admit, I'm not a real.
Listen, here's what I want to say. Like, I don't just do it for the memes. I generally do like Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah,
I don't have a problem with Orange Cassidy.
And
I really don't.
I
kind of like him too.
So,
hang on.
Wait. Can I finish? So I think it's really important for characters to matter. And so as a fan, like, you know, you shut your mouth. He deserves to be. He's getting derailed. But it's important, I think, as wrestling fans to like be into wrestling. And so yeah, the logic in me, I know that Kenny Omega's going to win, especially when Jungle Boy won. Like, there's no Jungle Boy versus Orange Cassidy match.
Although
Canada put him in jail over here. But anyway, but getting into a match as a fan, I think is really important. Sometimes I think a lot of wrestling fans lose sight of. For me, this is Orange Cassidy. It's other wrestlers too, but tonight was Orange Cassidy, and I was willing to suspend my disbelief for all the near falls. The 2 times he actually did win the match, so he did beat Kenny Omega twice. So let's put that out there. But it's just like I'm sitting here yelling. It's 11 o'clock at night. Sure, my fiance's upstairs trying to sleep. Sorry, my neighbors are probably trying to sleep too. Who knows? But like, it's been a while, I think, for me since I have gotten into wrestling in that way. It's not just Orange Cassidy. Like I know there's other matches where, a match comes to mind is Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar, or it's like you just want a result so badly.
Yeah.
Or the time where Drew McIntyre like Brock Lesnar over the top rope at the Royal Rumble. Like there's just times that you want awesome things to happen.
Yeah.
Even against like logical booking. Like we're wrestling fans. We've been wrestling fans for a long time. For the most part, we know what's going to happen. I predict. I really, logically, I should have picked Kenny Omega for the prediction contest, but
yes.
because but we predicted 7 out of the 8 matches. James and I, basically. Like it's okay that it's predictable.
Sometimes.
It's okay
Sometimes it's okay.
It's about stories and about earned stories, and this match was a good match, just top to bottom, left to right.
Part of it is because you had Pac in there too. And
yeah.
No, not to forget Pac.
Absolutely.
Pac was there. I'm glad he was there. I think the fact that it was a triple threat made it a lot better if it was just a singles match between Pac and Omega or between Cassidy and Omega. Like I think triple threat.
I think it was. Cassidy and Omega fine. What they're trying to do is I know because he had that head thing. They tried to put some relief off him and everything.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe if it wasn't for that injury, it might have actually been just a singles match between Cassidy and Omega. But
and that was a good spot. You're right. When he tried,
just a lot of great spots. Like when Pac was
the bastard submission.
And
Kenny
couldn't break
it. Yes, honestly, that was really
Kenny
good.
couldn't break it, so he had to break the ref instead.
It's like boom. Like okay, that's one way to stop it.
Yeah.
No, that was a great spot right there. But yeah, and I will admit, like you said, there was that second or two in those both moments where it's like, oh damn, Oshii might win this, and I might be wrong. And I wasn't mad at that. I thought it was well done with it.
Right. When a match does that to you, like make you think that something's gonna happen, like I think that's a positive match. Like there were, even going back to the tag team title match, there were times where I thought, oh wait, Moxley and Kingston are gonna win this right now. Like I think that's the mark of good booking. We don't always necessarily get that with all matches. But when you think, there's an outcome that you're like unexpected and you think, oh gosh, it's gonna happen right now. Like that's a beautiful thing in wrestling.
Absolutely.
The only problem I have, which I wish, and I know this is just, I wish they would have had at least, we could have had at least somebody from Impact, Moose, Swan, somebody at least show up afterwards or something to help. Something like that. If he is the Impact champion, why is it someone from one of the wrestlers from Impact trying to mess with Omega now to get the belt back?
I guess they're just keeping them separate for whatever reason.
No, but
because like AEW wrestlers don't show up at Impact either.
But I do like where they can go with this, because you can have Orange Cassidy. I know his character is the one that doesn't talk, but I think they might need to modify it just a little bit for he to be pissed from this.
A little bit.
Yeah.
He says a lot,
so he can talk a little bit.
Yeah.
He modify it, because he should be angry now. He should be upset. He should be back there a little bit upset now. I won that title. He can just say, I won. I beat him twice. I should be champion. And have him start now messing with the elite. He becomes another thorn in their side. Because they already have, Moxley and Kingston doing their thing. He starts joining.
I think they probably will, because best friends are the next natural challengers for the tag titles, because they're the top tag team I think now.
And So James, to your point,
Yeah. So my thought is now we need to have him start making Kenny's life, Omega's life, hell too. He starts showing up in places. He starts doing his little thing, putting his hands in his pockets. He's looking at him, and Mega's just like, dude, this is driving me crazy. Like that. That needs to be the evolution of. If
I don't think it's over, but I think we'll probably see. I don't think it's over. I think Orange Cassidy's going to
now that he's proved that he's in the main event, what they need to do is start putting him as a thorn in Omega's side now. He's starting to mess with them. He's messing with them. He's helping out Kingsley and them. You have to get him. He's pissed. I would like to see him get on the mic and be angry a little bit now, because that's the only thing really holding him back. Is he's the sloth. He's like, I'm from nowhere. I weigh, it doesn't matter, but he can work. Now he needs to tweak it just a little bit talk, a little bit fire to complete it. And then he can be the one that maybe the throne and everything like that. He could be. And the crowd.
I don't know that it'll be him, but I'm not even sure what Orange Cassidy's age is, but I think he'll have the title one day.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it'll be off of Kenny. It might, or if it is, it'll be. I thought for a bit that maybe they would let him take the title from Kenny in front of the live crowd and have the Kenny take it back a few weeks later.
That's what. I said the same thing. I said this would have been a great move to have him kind of surprise and take it and kind of be the first blip in the road. And then Thanos says
because we all know that Kenny Omega is on a collision course with Adam Page.
I've definitely getting that vibe. I do want to say to James's point. I think you make a great point about like where we could see Orange Cassidy go from here, and to some extent, I think we saw a little bit of that tonight, because you could definitely tell when he specifically when Don pulled the ref out when Orange was about to get a pin. You could tell how angry he was in that moment. Like, he's definitely showing that, and he's
very good at telling stories with body language.
So I do think, to your point, like, he is, but I think you're right in that he could definitely be pushing that, like, especially if they do want to have him try to go after the title, like, again, anytime soon. In this, he has legitimate claims to, hey,
he has legitimate claims, and he's over. I mean, the crowd was behind him. He's over. The crowd, they loves him. The crowd's down for him. So now is the time. You got the crowd's back. Start pushing him and start pushing him toward that title and everything. Because if you're going to have the crowd's back and everything, you need to start featuring him again as the guy, as one of the new challengers for it and everything.
We'll see what we go from
here. The holding pattern is over. We're running a tour now. The tour's going to be starting soon. For them, they're building toward All or Nothing in August, September, right now.
September 5th. So
September 10th. All or Nothing.
All out. But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like, they're built.
No, there's a lot of like dynamite.
It's the 3-year anniversary, the 4-year anniversary of what started it all.
Basically, yeah.
That'll be in the fall.
Well, no, you're basically right.
So you can build this story out if you want to make this epic pay-per-view. That could be the pay-per-view where Orange Cassidy pulls off the epic upset.
Maybe. We have
bam, the crowd would blow up.
Kind of the nice thing about only having 4 pay-per-views, we have a long time between them, so there's lots of stuff that can happen between. But because we're starting to hit, it's already 1 o'clock for us. I do want to go talk about Stadium Stampede before we finish.
Okay.
So Stadium Stampede was interesting. There was one thing I was shouting at the two of you. It was like, my gosh, pin someone. Please.
Pin somebody. I mean, good Lord, we had these... Literally,
but I don't want to focus on that.
Wardlow tried to stab
Wardlow actually killed Jake Hager.
Listen. It was a segment of a match. That's the key. It was so. I'm gonna take a few minutes. This is exactly, like, this was a fight. But here's this was a fight in almost the same way that the Darby and Sting versus Team Taz tag match was a fight.
It was a cinematic. It was basically
it was a cinematic, because I like to call it.
I don't know if it was live or semi-live. Well,
no, it was live because it ended in the.
But they definitely had. It was definitely really produced.
Yeah, it was produced. That's probably the best way to put it. But this is where I want to gush over this match for just a couple minutes, because honestly,
I want to gush over Meyer showing up.
Right,
though.
like that, like
head coach.
Like, honestly, I feel like.
Urban Meyer is sitting in his office with his defensive coach.
No, he's sitting in the safety's office, so that's fun.
He's sitting in the safety's office. He's talking. Suddenly, these two wrestlers come in, and he's like, and then he just throws Chris Jericho the ball. The coach throws Jericho the ball. Jericho.
And then that was Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. He was the defensive coach, I believe.
Charlie Day.
Charlie Day, yeah, one of the defensive coaches.
Oh, yeah. It was But he was like tossing footballs to Jericho. Like, okay, go ahead, Alex.
No, it's okay.
So,
but
to get my football.
But here's the thing: what you guys are pointing out. This is what I loved so much about this match was that it was very much it was a very good follow up to last year's Stadium Stampede, because for one thing you got a good number of spots that I feel like maybe they wanted to do last year and didn't get a chance to, or they thought about it after the fact. It's like, oh gosh, we'll have to maybe do it next time. You definitely got some really good spots out of this that it would have been interesting to see that last year, but I think it was even better that we got it this year, especially because we had a few extras involved, if that makes sense. Like you guys mentioned, the cameo appearances by various football staff or what have you, and just having
Tony Khan's dad.
Tony Khan's dad showing up.
I mean,
he was just standing for him.
Well, yeah, I know. It was just stuff like that was just funny to me. But you did this was. It was interesting to me because I was trying to figure out if it was going to be as over the top as it was last year, and it kind of was. It definitely was in a different sense. Because the biggest difference, you didn't have all the broken mat stuff from last year, so you didn't have that weird reincarnation thing. But what you got instead was Sammy confronting Shawn Spears in a room, in what appeared to be the room where they put all the chairs in. I was like, oh, that's where they put all the chairs when they're done at the end of whatever.
Yeah.
So you just there was a lot of that going on there, and during a bit of Jericho versus MJF, you had you had a bat inside where the whiteboard was. Yeah, I know my buddy Brock was even they could have made the joke, oh, Tebow must have left this year. But honestly,
What? No, I'm here.
Right? No, Tebow. Tim Tebow.
Oh.
Yeah, Tim Tebow. He's got signed to tight end. He got signed
he got signed to.
He played baseball.
No, okay. I get it now. I thought you said
okay, no. As a side note, I just realized something, and I thought this was really good of them too. Mm-hmm. I think they did this last year as well, but I think they did a great job with it this year. Was how you kind of had the different focuses of battles, of fights. You had MJF and Chris. You had Hager and Wardlow. You had Sammy and Shawn Spears. You had these different things happening, and you had FTR and Ortiz and
FTR and
Santana. Excuse me.
Proud and Strong, or they were tonight. They were LAX again because Conan had.
Oh gosh, yeah, the freaking Conan cameo. That was a trip. I was like, oh okay. So Conan's just their DJ now. It's okay, I can vibe with that.
It's Conan's the DJ.
So yeah,
that was random.
But yeah, that's exactly it. Overall, that whole thing was just fun, and I did like that they. And this was probably something they kind of did last year, but I'm glad that they did it this year because they had all those fans there. I'm glad that they brought it from the stadium. To the finish that happens
in common sense.
Daly's place. It's common sense. I'm saying I'm glad that they went with common sense because I was worried because they were talking about a unique fan experience or whatever. I'm just they definitely didn't. I definitely wasn't sure about that until they got near the end. But yeah.
No, I mean, it was. Also, I feel bad they called the cops because people are sitting in the nightclub. These people are sitting in the nightclub. They're chilling. And then the dudes come beat them up for no reason. We're sitting in a nightclub having a good time. What's beating up on them? I mean, they're sitting there chilling with they women there, they're drinking and everything. Boom, boom, then two dudes come in.
I think they just wanted a nightclub setup because there's no way there's a nightclub in Daly's place. Let's
they would. Yeah,
especially not during a wrestling event. Those people are there to watch wrestling.
It was probably the stadium club for the stadium.
Probably.
The stadium has the
like a lounge or whatever.
It's definitely not a real place.
No, it's probably
bar.
like a lounge or something.
It's just for the match.
Bar,
No,
so
it most definitely was not a real place. It was just a set for the fight, but it was just have fun.
Now, Brock brought up the golf cart revenge thing, and that actually, that and the freaking and Sean Spears running from the motorcycle club, those were fun moments.
When did Inner Circle get a motorcycle part now? When did that happen?
Motorcycle club. It was from the time they pull up in those SUVs with flanked by motorcycles.
Now, I do want to bring this back around so we can start to wrap up. I think the big focus here that this was the biggest thread that I saw kind of throughout the night or throughout the match, and by the time we got to the finish, was kind of the culmination of a year-long storyline for Sammy. And I think we kind of touched on it a little bit here and there at different pay-per-views leading up to this. But because remember, a year ago, Sammy took the fall in the first Stadium Stampede. So we went from that to essentially Sammy getting his revenge, actually getting the pinfall to win for the Inner Circle, over Sean Spears. For sure. And so I think that was an interesting storyline of sorts to see develop over the course of the match when you come to realize, okay, they definitely that. This is the story they were telling here. By the end of it, you realize, okay, this was in large part about Sammy as much as it was about the Inner Circle trying to stay together. And I think it kind of culminated. I think it it really helped the actual face turn, if you will, of the Inner Circle. Because
I told you before. For the last pay-per-view, I'm talking not pay-per-view, Blood and Guts. I said it. Remember, I said it. I thought Sammy should have been the one, that Jericho, should have been the one that, was hurt. And I was calling Sammy the one to get hurt and come back and get his revenge.
Right, but I think
but no, I know the way they're going is Sammy's now going to be, and I think Jericho probably called the audible because he's hurt. Sammy's the one that's going to be kind of taking the forefront a little bit of the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
Because Jericho's probably going to take him at least a couple of months to be fully healed again with the dislocated elbow.
Well, that's a work injury though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's a work injury or not.
Well, I think he is injured. I don't know what the extent of the injury is.
No, he's really injured.
Oh yeah, I guess he didn't take any bumps, to be fair.
He really dislocated his elbow. No, it was from the fall. He dislocated his elbow from the fall. So his really dislocated elbow. So right now, Sammy's going to be pretty much the workhorse because he's not going to be doing the matches at least for a good 2 months and everything, or at least nothing. Because here he had to heavily wrapped.
I'm hoping the Inner Circle and Pinnacle can both move on and actually have their individual stories.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. I think that's where we're going.
They need to.
When was the last time Sammy had his own individual story?
Sammy just got the pin out. I can see Sammy and MJF going at it right now while Jericho's hurt. You can run them at it. You can still run FTR if you want to. FTR and Proud and Strong, Ortiz and Santana as, against each other. You can run that couple of moves like that. So that's fine.
Yeah.
And everything with that.
Who knows? They could also reignite the feud with the Elite, but I'm hoping they get their individual stories for a while.
Yeah, maybe run with that.
To maybe see Jake Hager go after Miro, that would be fun. Wardlow too, actually.
But you can branch off. Hopefully they can cool off this fight with Pinnacle for a little bit now.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Get them back to the individual stories.
Yeah, you can always swing it back and everything later.
When Jericho was champion, Sammy has his own feuds. Santana and Ortiz had their own feuds. Hager really never did have his own feuds, which is a shame. But maybe Hager should start getting his own feuds too. So.
Well, so we have that there. So right. to wrap it up, as we're getting late here, and so overall, your overall thoughts on the pay-per-view.
Time to grade the show.
Grade the show,
James.
I'm not. I will say this to be for full disclosure. I'm not a heavy fan of AEW. I don't watch it as much. I will say I don't see an issue with this pay-per-view. I didn't really have there. There may have a few things that for me that I did not like, but then again, that's probably personal. But overall, I'll give it a B. I liked it. I thought it was a decent show. I'm not saying I'm not saying it was bad in any regard. I thought all decent matches. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the build up to these matches, but then again, that's nitpicking. I'm not. So I would say I'm not going to hurt it for that. So I'll say B.
All right, Alex.
I think this is where I get to be I may be the slightly gracious scorer of the group here. I'm actually gonna give this a solid A. Like not like A plus or anything, but it was a solid A for me. Like overall, I really enjoyed the show. I've mentioned to you guys off air, like the couple minor gripes that I had with the show, but they were not that big of a gripes for me. Like overall, I really enjoyed everything that I saw, and like I think also to kind of just to touch one more time on that main event on the Stadium Stampede. By the time we got like almost 40 minutes into the match, with everything going on, I said to myself, you know what? This was worth having this be like an extra hour of the show. Like this to me was actually worth the time that they put in. So yeah, it's a solid A for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an A too. A lot of fun. Like I know even when I watch like WWE pay-per-views, there are times where I'm like, okay, middle of the pay-per-view, I don't need to watch anymore. I didn't really feel that with any part, except for the TNT title match, which was not really the TNT title match's fault.
Right.
But even then, I still watched. I just didn't watch it as closely. Like I didn't feel like I was bored and going to turn away and do something else while the pay-per-view's on, like I often do during WWE pay-per-views when they're in like the middle of the matches, in the middle of the pay-per-view. So yeah, A. I'm gonna do that. Let's get out of here.
All right. So this has been another special edition of OPW Live. Thank you guys for hanging out with us to talk about Double or Nothing. I want to give a shout out to Welfare Heels and to our buddy Roblo 420. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat. Much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys on Thursday. But until then, you can catch everything Occupy Pro Wrestling at occupyprowrestling.com. You can catch us on all the socials at Power the Number 2 the Smarks. If it's a social platform, there's a good chance we're on it. And you can catch us on Twitch at Power the Number 2 the Smarks every Thursday around about 9 p.m. Eastern, where we usually talk about wrestling, whether it's what's happening in wrestling at the moment or like stuff that basically stuff that we enjoyed. But until then, I've been Alex. Yeah, I've been Alex Smiley Plays on the Twitch. Chris has been Chris at T-Bone is Live on the Twitch. James has been James at JJTitanDog70 on the Twitch. And we'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day weekend.
Fuck you, Don Callis.
Oh my gosh.